Welcome back to Afford Law. My name is Attorney Paul Whalen with Afford Law. At Afford Law, we practice criminal and family law in Massachusetts. Our fees are on a sliding scale based on our client's income. So the less you make, the less you have to pay. On today's topic, we're going to address uncontested divorces in Massachusetts. What is an uncontested divorce in Massachusetts? Well, there are two tracks that a divorce can go down on the litigation side. They are the contested track and the uncontested track. The uncontested track basically is a quicker, less complicated, less costly track that you want to go down, if at all possible. An uncontested divorce has to take all the issues that are involved in any kind of divorce. So the big issues are property division. If there's a house, that has to be dealt with. If there are other assets that need to be divided, that has to be dealt with. If there are debts of the marriage, those have to be divided as well. Child custody, if there are children of the marriage that are involved, that's a very important issue and one that is very contentious. Child custody, child support, alimony, if there's going to be alimony, if so, how much, for how long, and any other issues that are involved in a divorce, they all have to be addressed, either contested or uncontested. The uncontested side of things is basically where you and your soon-to-be ex, your partner, can come to an agreement as to all of the issues that are involved. There's a different form that is filed with the court to get things going, the original complaint. Both parties sign off on it and give that to the court, letting the court know that this is on the uncontested track so that it will be heard more quickly. Keep in mind that just because a divorce starts off as an uncontested divorce doesn't mean it's going to stay on that track. Very often, to be quite honest, we see that a case starts off in an uncontested divorce, and then problems crop up along the way. So you think that you have everything worked out until a time comes when there's an argument over over the child support, child custody, who gets the house, who gets the silverware, whatever it might be. Unless all of the issues are agreed upon by both parties, it has to go onto the contested track. So the uncontested divorce is you and your ex getting together and hashing out all of these issues ahead of time. So you come to an agreement on all of those issues. You have to make a separation agreement. That's not a form. It's just something that you need to produce on your own. It's just a document. It's a very important document. However, it spells out all of your and their legal rights and obligations. So it will address things such as why did the marriage break down? Most often it's because what we call an irretrievable breakdown of the marital relationship. So that basically you've grown apart, you can't live together, and the marriage cannot continue on. Other issues, like I said, of property division, division of debts, child support, child custody, everything has to be contained within that separation agreement. That agreement, along with several other documents, including a certified copy of your marriage certificate, both parties have to fill out financial information about their income, their expenses on a weekly or monthly basis. Parents have to take classes, a parenting class, in order to go through the divorce process, either contested or non-contested. And at some point, you'll file all of these documents with the court. A period of time will pass. When you file the case, you will get a date to come back for a hearing. What that is a chance for the court to have the information that you've provided in your documents, and you're going to go to court before a judge, and the case will get called. So on these cases, there are several that are scheduled every day. Your case will be called. You and your partner will go up before the judge. The judge will have had a chance to look at the agreement that you've made, look over your other documents as well. And the judge has to approve your separation agreement and has to allow everything to go forward. Pretty much what the judge is looking for is to see if the agreement is fair to both parties, to see if one person may have made out much better than they should have, than the judge would have thought in other situations, and whether it's fair to both, because the judge doesn't want one party, especially when neither party are represented, where one party has taken advantage or exerted undue influence over the other party, or bullied them, to be quite honest. So the judge wants to make sure everything is fair, that you agree to the terms that are in the separation agreement, that you know what the terms are in the separation agreement. If there are any issues as far as if someone's income is out of whack with the other one, the judge will want to know how the for instance, how child support was determined. The judge will look to see that the child support that you've agreed to falls within the child support guidelines, and there are reasons to deviate from the child support guidelines, but the judge would have to know what those reasons are and if in fact they're valid for your particular case. So you go to the hearing. It's a pretty brief hearing, but when you're called, you'll be before the judge for maybe 5 minutes or so. It'll seem like a lot longer, I know, because you're standing up there and you're basically putting your private life on public display, and it's pretty humbling, pretty embarrassing. You don't want to do it, but it is a very quick process, and there are other people in the courtroom, but most of those people are also going through the same sort of thing. So it's not like, they're going to be looking down on you or judging you or whatever, because they're in the same boat. In any case, a short hearing will take place. There's a waiting period. Basically, it's 120 days from the time of the hearing until the divorce is final. So you're not divorced within that time. That's basically a waiting period to see if either one of you change your mind or any issues crop up that weren't expected. That'll give you a time to cool off. Sometimes people will reconcile and not want to go through the divorce, so they can basically pull it back and remain married. But if nothing happens, if you don't make a motion to come back before the judge, that period of time passes, and you get divorced at the end of it. Like I said, it's a lot quicker, it's a lot less expensive, and it's a lot less draining on you emotionally if you can come to terms with your soon-to-be ex-spouse. Like I said, it's a lot of times people are optimistic at the beginning. They say, "Oh, it's going to be an amicable divorce. We don't want to, we don't want to fight." But when push comes to shove, when things start getting divided up, people start to get a little more emotional. They get a little more attached to their property. They don't want to be saddled with any more debt than they think that they should be. So things can go off the rails as far as that goes. And if that happens, even if there are only one or two issues that are not agreed upon, it has to get bumped over to the other track. And so ultimately, if you can't agree on a couple of issues, a judge will ultimately have to decide those issues for you. So if you can, it's better to try to hold on to control and to work out something with your ex. Now, having said that, there are a lot of times that's just not possible. There are high conflict divorces. There are situations where you just can't possibly be even in the same room with the other person at that time. Therefore, you can't come to any agreement. You can't negotiate any agreement or anything like that. Of course, if there's any domestic violence issues that are involved, you certainly don't want to be near the other person. You don't put yourself in danger or anything like that. So the uncontested divorce doesn't work in every case, but in some cases it does. And if it does work for you, you could very well benefit because of the advantages that I've already mentioned. Now, I just want to take a moment to explain how things work at Afford Law. I'm the managing attorney at Afford Law. We offer our services at a reduced rate. We try to make ourselves as affordable as possible to basically to the working public. What we found is that there are people who don't work, who are unemployed, unemployable, basically have little or no income. Those folks can qualify for legal aid, and they can get help with some legal problems. Now, legal aid is a great situation, but they're overwhelmed, and a lot of times they just don't have the resources to help everybody. Besides that, so even the folks that don't qualify for that free or reduced rate program through legal aid, they're working, they have a job, they're holding down a job or two times, but they're not making a whole lot of money. They can't afford attorney at the going rate, the going market rate for attorneys. It's very expensive to hire an attorney usually. So what we do is we provide our experienced legal services at a reduced rate based on your income. So we have a sliding scale. Basically, we have a little calculator. You enter the number of people in your household, what the household income, annual income is, and you get an idea of what the reduced rate would be. In family law cases, we charge an hourly rate. And if you do the calculator, you'll find out what the hourly rate is. Now, we can't tell you how many hours will be spent on your case. That's dependent on each case. Every case is different because every couple is different. And the more contentious, the more argumentative the parties are, the longer the case is going to go on. So there are going to be more hours going on in those cases. But we do try to make ourselves as affordable as possible because the issues that we deal with in family law and criminal law are so very important to your life, to your children, to your family, that you need legal help. You really need experienced legal help, and you shouldn't be walking into a courtroom alone representing yourself. We feel very strongly about this, and we're trying to do everything we can to provide our services at a reasonable rate. Again, we're not free. This is not a pro bono situation, but we do offer significant savings to a lot of folks. So if you'd like to see if you qualify, please visit us at affordlaw.org. Give us a call. Visit our website. We have a lot of frequently asked questions with a lot of good information there for you. And we come to you with these videos on a regular basis. So check us out, and we'd be happy to try to help you in any way we can. At Afford Law, we're making justice affordable. Thanks very much.